why does this particular behavior from my child make me lose it? Yeah, we all have that particular behavior from a particular child, or if not all of them that you have, that triggers you. Sometimes we even feel very ashamed to ask that question out loud because you are wondering, why? Why should that be happening? Why should anything my child do trigger me at all? So today, I want to help us understand what is actually happening beneath the surface without blaming us or blaming you, and without blaming the child. So here's the first truth that we need to anchor ourselves in. Children don't just trigger reactions, they activate stored emotional responses. Let me explain this in a very simple way. I want you to imagine that your child ignores when you call them. Immediately you feel this anger rise in your chest, then your tone changes, then your body tightens. Now I want you to pause right there. That intensity that you are feeling at that particular point in time, and most times if you check pretty well, it's actually not as big as the action that our children just committed. But then what's happening here at this particular point in time is that our nervous system is not only responding to this child in this moment, it is responding to the past moments when we felt unheard, when we felt disrespected, when we felt powerless, when we felt taken for granted, or when we felt dismissed. I know you might have heard before someone say, oh, our children are healing us. They are sent to us to heal us from past traumas we might have had, or past childhood experiences that we might have had. Even though you might not want to swallow that truth or belief, hook, line, and sinker, there is a connection with that body of truth or knowledge with this reality that actually happens. Because our body always remembers. Our body remembers. So once I had this client, she permitted me to share, so we're safe, who always had this clash with her boss. And she came to me saying that she wants to work on that anger. She wants to work on the anger that she gets each time her boss tells her to do something in a way that she feels is demeaning. And we started talking about it. We started doing the work on it. And by the time we had gone deep, we found out that she was not really responding to the boss. She was responding to childhood experiences that she had had. She grew up small. She's on the small side, and amongst her peers, she was actually the smallest. So small in comparison to the rest of them that each time they would bully her. And for her to stand up for herself or to go through that experience, what she had to do was to flare up most times and to put everybody in their place. So she would just begin to shout at them and also try to make them look small, if you get what I mean. So that was how she survived that period of bullying in her life. But because the body does not forget, now fast forward to her present life, or then when she came to me, she was still reacting and responding to that past experience. The moment she felt like her boss was taking her for granted, or was looking down on her, or was bullying her, immediately she begins to respond in that manner again. She's yelling, she's shouting, saying demeaning things to him to make him also look small. You see how that goes? So that rage was not directed to the boss. She was still responding through the lens of the past experiences that she had. And this is not weakness. This is how our brain and nervous system works. In psychology, we call it this implicit memory. Emotional memory stored in the body and the conscious mind. So when our child does something that resembles a past emotional wound, our system reacts automatically. That's what a trigger is. A trigger is not proof that you are failing as a parent. A trigger is information. Now here's where many of us as parents get stuck. We try to discipline the child while their own system is activated. In doing that, the boundary may be corrected, but the emotional energy behind it is dysregulated. The child senses that tension. Their nervous system responds with resistance, shutdown, or even escalation. And suddenly, what could have been a small moment turns into a power struggle, especially if it is preteens and teens. Now let's change the lens through which we look at it. Triggers are invitations to regulation before correction. Let me say it again. Triggers invite you to regulate yourself first so that you can respond and not react. This does not mean you excuse behavior. It means you address it from clarity, not emotional overflow. So as parents, we should learn to pause, learn to breathe, learn to ground ourselves. Even for a few seconds, it's amazing the change that would occur. Because our voice softens, our body relaxes, then authority becomes calm instead of forceful. And children will now respond differently to this your calm demeanor or this your calm authority. This is not about being perfect. It's about becoming aware. And awareness is the doorway to calmer and more confident parenting. If you love this video, kindly give this video a big fat thumbs up for me and subscribe if you've not done so already. I'm going to be seeing you all in the next one. Bye-bye.